on, everybody? This is Thurston M. Smith. Y'all good?
Hit it.
All right. Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is Thurston M. Smith, the world's number one alpha German lifestyle coach here. Live for number 2, Tobacco Talk, Smoke and Sip. I got my man here, King Mace,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
joining with me today. We're jumping in. I'm glad he can come over here. It is Bag 2022. And we are starting it off with a bang. First one here in January. Gonna try to be consistent. No, we are gonna be consistent this year and make sure that we are providing great quality conversations with the Tobacco Talk and bringing them once a month guarantee at the end of the month. You should be seeing the Tobacco Talk by Smoke and Sip here. And so we had so many different topics to just bounce around in. I just wanted to, start off by saying, how you doing? And how's your 2022 going so far, sir?
2022 is good, man. Starting off quality, setting the great goals for yourself. If you fail to plan, what I'm saying. Excuse me, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. You know the story, man. So honestly, just getting out here, getting my life together, getting the plans together. It's early. Don't want to wait till the middle of the year. You know how people do. They try to get their summer bodies in April. Just go ahead and get that started in January. You know the life.
Go ahead and get that started in January. That's exactly what we need to do. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man. I know you for a long period of time. I've seen you do a lot of things. Man, a serial entrepreneur, I don't want to limit you and say a hustler because the things that you do are really legitimate and they're actually businesses. And you can actually track that and see the data and stuff that you do. So you just tell me just a little bit more about yourself if you can, sir.
Well, the hustler's mentality, what I'm saying, in life is always strong, what I'm saying, just depends on how you're going to do it. It's a legal hustle, what I'm saying, then the illegal hustle.
Right.
Just because you illegal hustle at one point don't mean you can't turn it into a legal hustle. Any
That is
real
true.
gentleman who knows who's ever done any kind of hustling, whether it be illegal or legal, it's all the same principle. I guess it just turns into what side of the law you're on. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Went from possibly selling drugs to now selling business, selling advice, selling stock, selling CPR, first aid, AED. So
Right.
honestly, if you have the hustler's mentality, no matter where you go or what you do, you're going to find yourself in a successful situation. So you can't ever, have more pride than dollars, I guess you'll say, That's how I feel about everything
Definitely
personally.
have more
So
pride than money. So, you're a father, right? And how many kids you have?
I have three.
Yeah, 3.
I have three.
Now it is 2 boys, 1.
No, sir. I have
Three.
one son, the legacy, who is 9. And I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old.
3 on 2.
Yes, I do. Girls.
Girls. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I thought. Okay, my bad. Okay. So we got 1 boy, 2 girls. All right. And how is parenthood and father life with that and that dynamic? Having a boy and having girls.
Honestly, it's a bit more difficult for myself because the gap is so large. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you have girls, anybody has girls when they're young, they're daddy girls. You know what I'm saying? They love it. That's what they do when they're young. But however, when your boys get older, they need that guidance from dad. You know what I'm saying? To put them on the right track. So you're kind of stuck in between having your girl stuck in your leg and compassion, and your son who just turned 9 now needs a bit more of the stern and conversation and putting in the right way. So, and being that I'm actually not with the women who I do have my children with,
Right.
co-parenting is actually the most important thing, because if you can't do it together, all you're gonna do is fight, and it's not gonna go anywhere. So keeping the cool, calm, level head and be great about it ensure success going forward with the kids. You know that.
I know, I definitely agree. Just to having understanding that you need both parents is definitely extremely important. I understand things don't work out sometimes.
Facts.
And it's very important that we just understand, like, just because a man's not in the household, you still can be in the child's life.
Facts.
You're not being inside the household, you still be in the child's life. And so, um, tell me a little bit more about your upbringing. Do you have your parents, dad, was he there in your life too as well?
Absolutely. My father actually. You ever hear that every man feels, if their father in their life, they are the greatest man ever. You know what I'm saying? The role model,
Right.
their life, so gotta believe that. So actually, believe it or not, my father was in my life and my mother was not. It was the opposite situation. My mother decided to go the route she decided to be out. And my dad decided to stay and raise me and her 2 kids while she decided to go out and live another life.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's the ultimate stepdad. He was dad and stepdad. So taking care of your own kids and 2 kids that aren't yours, a superhero.
Super huge, man. Super huge. So understanding, seeing that dynamic, your dad stepped in. What do you take from that scenario to that implied to implement it into your parenting now? You know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to give you straight, a little bit of on both sides.
Go ahead, yeah.
The most important thing I've learned now, being a grown man, having my own kids and growing, you need both parents in your house. Because, see, your mother is supposed to provide that sense of, say, calm, happiness, you fall, you hurt yourself, let me love you, let me hug you, first heartbreak, first kiss the boo-boo, all that. That's mom's first nurturing experience.
Right.
And then dad is there to put you on the right track, to hold you, be like, hey, don't cry, you're man. You know what I'm saying? You're a boy, don't cry.
Mm-hmm.
Without the balance of both sides, you actually find yourself being unbalanced. So now, if you have a strong man, African American man, who is from the South, he's from Mississippi.
Really?
So the way he does life is all that. And then you have my mother who wasn't there, so everything is just hard. Growth. No cry, pain, tears. That's life. You kind of don't have the other opposite side for your mom, but hey, be compassionate. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? She's a lady. Treat her like a lady. Treat her nice. Take her on a date.
Right.
But you got the man perspective. Like, hey, she's a woman. Treat a woman this way. Get what you can get out of there. So that's the truth, man, unfortunately. So that actually helped me value myself growing up and being a man now. Realize how important it is to have both parents in the house. You know what I'm saying? The yin and the yang, one without the other. You know what I'm saying? It overflows on one side and it doesn't work out well, unfortunately.
I need that. So, okay. So I understand that dynamic. So how is it with your daughters? Because I see your boy, you were raised by your dad. He's like, okay, well, I've seen this before. I'm going to take some stuff from my dad, implement it here, but said with you having your daughters now, I know you can't be the same way with your son with your daughters. So do you find yourself, catch yourself to be a different way than from raising? I guess explain me how you raise your daughters.
Honestly, believe it or not, I am the same, if not a little bit harder on my daughters. See, because the way society has made it up, being that Black women now, as you know, the most mimicked women in the world, we can already go ahead and say that off the rip now. Being that I don't want my daughters to grow up, and no disrespect to anyone who follows who they follow, I don't want my daughter growing up thinking Meg Thee Stallion is the way, Cardi B is the way, Nicki is the way. You know what I'm saying? No, it's all persona the way they put it out, but that's not what I want them to believe. I'm harder on them because I want them to go, hey, don't get out here and get with the whole, he's just a man, run his pockets, don't have their own pockets.
Right.
So I love my daughters to death. You know what I'm saying? But I treat them the same as I treat my son. I buy them all whatever they need. At the same time, I don't just give just because they're the way. I'm actually a little bit harder on my daughters because I want to see them in a more successful way. That's why I don't want them to follow that. Oh, I got a man. I've had my first heartbreak. Oh, I don't want that. I want to be strong. I want to be smart. We all want our kids to follow your education.
Right.
But as women, as young Black women, we want them to follow it harder because, unfortunately, and I can admit it because I was that way as well. There's a lot of men out here doing shit. They want to jump on women. They want to jump on their back. They got it. You know what I'm saying? The tax time woman. You know what I'm saying? We'll call it. I don't want my daughters to be tax time women. And because of that, I am harder on them. I started teaching them how to read sooner. I started teaching them potty training a little bit sooner. I've been harder on them from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? When my son, I'd let him grab the tablet, play games. My daughter, let's get this lead pad in. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Here's a lead pad. I like that.
She's looking at me like, A, B, C, D, F, G. Yes, just practice the words. And actually, one of my daughters, as you know, she's half Mexican and half Black. She already speaks Spanish. She can speak Spanish and English. So she can come to you and say, you know what I'm saying? Say water in Spanish. And then you look at her and go, huh? And she'll be like, water. So she's actually got that down. So she's on both sides because her babysitter is Hispanic. She speaks all Spanish. Her mom speaks all English. So she spends 8 hours with the babysitter in Spanish, come home and get to talk to in English. So she just turned 2 years old and she can speak both languages. So she say bottle in Spanish and bottle in English. Absolutely.
It's beautiful. Cool. I like that, man. That's definitely dope. I just think that we need to start highlighting, more fathers stepping up and to the plate and taking care of their responsibilities. I think the narrative is just false because the people that you ask and you interview and you talk to always seem to be absent fathers from the household. And it's like, see, I got him. Another absent father was like, but there actually is fathers out here stepping up to the plate and taking care of responsibilities in the home, and out the home. One thing I always, that that was interesting to me, right? You know, I talked to them about their leadership, who they look up to, right?
Right.
And they go to the Cardi B, they go to the City Girls, they go to the Megan Thee Stallion. But how come no one is talking about raising their daughters to be like Vice President Kamala Harris? You know what I'm saying? How come no one's not saying like, you know what I'm saying, raising their daughters to be like Michelle Obama? How come no one's not talking about these women for what they have done? You know what I'm saying? And being the wife to the president, and then this being the first. Is that the first? I'm sorry, I want to make sure it's quick. Right, first woman vice president.
Yes, it is, sir.
I believe it is. Like, these are huge accomplishments, and then you see her background that she went to HBCU. She's from Oakland. She was. I'm not into politics. I know she was very high up in California. I think this attorney, but I'm not confused. I don't got all the way, but. How come people are not pushing that narrative? Is like, let's say, this should be your role model. You should have the picture of her, not a picture of Megan Thee Stallion.
Because it's not popular, sir. It's not popular, unfortunately. Because when you see the way that we're drove in now with society now, when you see that, do you see Michelle Obama surrounded in racks of money?
No.
You do not. Do you see Kamala Harris driving a Murcielago?
No.
But you see Cardi. See, the life that we are given, the life that we are shown, that is the way to go, is surrounded by money and surrounded by possession. So what we believe, unfortunately, which is put in our mind, is he who has the most possession has the most power, which is not the truth. So if you look at that, which is why anybody who knows, especially in music, how does it go? The rapper looks the richest. He actually usually has the least amount of money of everybody that's there.
Yes.
So that's what you're thinking. So, and actually, in the dive into something that you said a minute ago, when it comes to single father aspect of it, that's actually pretty easy, and I'm going to dive into this. You might like this, because we're taught to believe, and they show us that is the norm, and I can prove that to you. Ask anyone. Go look at any commercial you want on TV. Go look at a Kraft macaroni and cheese commercial. Go look at a any kind of food commercial. Cox does it as well. You ever notice there's no father in the commercial?
That is pretty interesting. I do notice that.
You ever notice that?
Yes.
There is no father in the commercial. It's usually a mother with two children. It's a mother with a daughter and a son. See, the original dream was the white picket fence, dad, mom, boy, girl. 10-year-old boy, 8-year-old girl. We live in the white picket fence. This is what we do. Right. Go look at the commercials now. There is no father in the commercial. It's usually the mother making cookies with their kids with no father. The only time the father is usually in a commercial, when you look at one that popularized, are car commercials. Do you know why?
Forget that, brother.
Because usually in the commercial, he's gifting the woman a car. I mean, joking commercials with the big bow on top of the car.
Especially on Christmas time. And you're right. It's Valentine's Day. So those commercials are about to start running pretty soon.
It's going to be dad with a big bow on top of the car showing mom.
Right. Oh, Tiffany's and sales, you know what I'm saying? The diamond rings, diamond ring sales. Target's going to have the special for cargo pants.
Because that's when men are perceived to be useful.
Right.
Because we're perceived to be a provider. So what they're going to say is in the commercials, and I've talked to people, oh, no, it's not that the dad isn't around. It's that he's out working. Okay, so you're telling me because he's working, he can't be there for his kids? Mm-hmm. Commercials with car commercials, they're dropping off the kids at school. It's mom dropping off kids at school, not dad. But I will challenge you with this one. You drop your son off at school, don't you?
Yes.
Bam. But they're not going to show that because it's popular. It doesn't appeal to the masses. Right. So when you get that, then you turn around and we have this programmed in our mind to believe there's no dad there. Not having a dad is fine. You don't need that. Look at lots of success stories. What do they say? My dad left when I was a kid. It was me and my mom. Like the basketball players, I bought my mom a house. My mom was the one there for me because dad wasn't there. So that just painted this narrative that dads cannot be there. And then when dads are there, it's such a surprise. Gentlemen like you and myself have to go, well, we're in our kids' life. We're there. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's fine. We're perceived to have no life. We don't have fun. We don't do that because we're fathers. But that's not the case. It's all in the picture and perception and narrate the way they narrate it to us, which isn't the truth, though.
Yes, sir. Sidebar. I want to actually pivot on that, but still staying in the same realm. We talked about sports. We talk about sports all the time. Also look for the Smoking Shit Rundown show. We talk about sports. And everyone's free to time into this because I saw an interview where he talked about LeBron. He got his jersey up there. And he says, I can score 30 points, triple double, anytime I want to. Right? Mm-hmm. Why doesn't he just do it?
Because honestly, that goes with being a great leader. Because personally, just because you can score 30 points and 10 rebounds and 10 assists a game doesn't matter, because if you lose by 4 points, what was the point? So
Right.
people criticize LeBron for not being the person who has that killer instinct at the last minute. However, making the correct basketball play at the right time is going to do more for your team. Because, and I hate to say this because, Kobe is my GOAT. However, do you remember at the end of Kobe's career, it was just him lighting everybody up? Jokingly, remember Kobe said, "Kobe, why don't you pass your teammates?" What am I going to do, pass to Smush Parker? It's the truth. So it was just him lighting it up.
Right.
He couldn't make the correct basketball play, because to him, the correct basketball play was get on my back, because you can't do it with him. Whereas LeBron has been able, and we're not going to call it fortunate, we're going to call it fairly. He has been manipulative to the rules to get the players he wants around him to where he can make the correct basketball play. Whereas Kobe didn't have that luxury, because it was, I am the correct basketball play, which is why Dr. Buss went to Shaq and was like, hey, Kobe is the correct basketball play. Mm-hmm. So that's really what it boils down to. So it's not an indictment against anyone. Some people just have that instinct about it, like, no, I am the play. And some of them have it where I'll make the play. So there's a difference about it.
So here, I have something for you. So you think that LeBron would have the killer instinct if his dad was in his life?
No, I don't think it's so actually at all. If anything, I believe what he's accomplished in his life has it because his father wasn't in his life. Because a lot of times when you're missing something, you compensate in other areas to validate your greatness or validate what you do. His dad wasn't there, so a lot of times you'll do things in your life, you're like, see, you weren't there, Dad, but I did it. I didn't need you for that. Mm-hmm. You fueled me, you motivated me, because he was missing something.
Right.
So a lot of people, when they use that excuse, well, my dad wasn't there for me, you're on the same side. You have people like Shaq, whose dad wasn't there, but came when he got famous.
Right.
Whose Drake's dad wasn't there, but came when he got famous. Mm-hmm. So not having that doesn't do that. I don't think it fuel him more or less. The thing that doesn't fuel him by having that killer instinct is it's just not him. He's just not that way. He sees things in a different manner. Where Kobe is, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take your heart because I am that great. Mm-hmm. Whereas he sees it as a prism. He sees it as, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All of these things can work together. Where when you have to have killer instinct like Kobe, like Jordan, people like that, or Shaq, who even Shaq, their thing is, I'm going to go there, I'm going to do this, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. We was trying to bring that up because you talk about the killer instinct, and we talked about the people's GOATs, mm-hmm. Talked about Jordan.
Right.
His dad was there.
Yes, he was.
Kobe, his dad was there.
Yes, he was.
And then we get to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the difference of play, mm-hmm. Between the three. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that is something to think about. I always struck that. I was driving home and that played it in my head when he played it, and I seen that clip, and he's like, I can do it. And it's like, why don't you just do it? It says something about, I can do it. Like, no, just do it. You know what I'm saying? But you're right, his game is amazing. Not taking anything from LeBron. It's just one thing that just went through my head. You know what I'm saying? But having your dad in your life, I see the people and see the men that their dad are actively in their life, and their kids are different. They understand rules, they understand boundaries, and they have a little more different wiring than raised by your mom. Because you know what I'm saying? Your mom can't tell you, your mother can only raise you to a certain level. Mm-hmm. After that level, a lot of us are on our own because our dads are not there.
You can't raise no man.
Yeah, so you can't raise no man.
She said in wasn't it? I mean, yeah, wasn't it? I can't teach you how to be no man. That's something your father's got to do.
Boom. Take it back to the classic movie. So that just ran through my mind. And so we are in the playoffs. We do have to talk about this. We right now we have Cincinnati playing the Chiefs.
Yes, we do.
And we have the Rams playing 49ers.
There you go.
So we've been discussing this whole time, having our picks, and I need to get your picks here.
Okay. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that's hard to say. I want to pick Cincinnati, but Cincinnati has one of the most glaring weaknesses in the playoffs right now. And it's not their fault. It is the organization's fault. They failed him. They do not have an offensive line. Right. That is a problem.
Then they drafted, I think they drafted Ja'Marr Chase.
Yes, they did. which is a great choice.
It's a great choice.
Great choice. They do not have an offensive line. And with no offensive line, it is hard for me to bet on you to beat anybody. That is honest truth.
So we're going with KC?
Yes. And honestly, I would have chose the 49ers if they were not playing inside of a dome. Because if they were playing in an outdoor setting, I would pick the 49ers. Reason being, they do the two things you need to do in the playoffs in cold weather, which are what?
Run the ball, play good defense.
That's what they do greatly.
Greatly.
However, they're playing on turf. That does not matter. It does not matter.
Right.
So there doesn't matter. Now, if when it's 20 degrees outside, you're in Green Bay, 5 degrees, it's freezing, fingers is cold, you're gonna hand that ball off.
Right.
And that's exactly what they did, which is why they got the next phase with San Francisco. They hand the ball off. You just need the quarterback to make 1 or 2 plays, you hand the ball off, and that's how you win in the cold. But when you're playing in the dome, now it's about flinging the football, i.e. New Orleans going to the Super Bowl. You throw that ball, who throws the ball better, Jimmy G or Matthew Stafford?
I'll go with Matthew Stafford.
So that is why I'm going to go ahead and take that route there.
So now I know we talked about Matthew Stafford, and we, our approach was just like, we didn't believe in him. So are we now believers in Matthew Stafford?
No. Personally, no.
Okay.
It's not that I don't believe in his talent, because he did it all the way when he was in Detroit. People forget he actually did have an 11-5 season. He had 2 9-7 seasons. He had a 10-6 season, I believe. He's been in the playoffs 3 times, so it's not like he doesn't have the talent. My thing is just when the moment is the biggest is usually when the ball flies into the other team's hand.
Right. And we talked about that. So he hasn't turned the ball over in the playoffs.
That's wonderful.
Right. And we talked about that going into the playoffs, how he's been turning over the ball, a lot of interceptions coming into the playoffs, but he hasn't turned the ball over. So are you impressed with the adjustments that the Rams have made?
You mean OBJ?
I mean, they're the man. Yeah.
Listen. Real talk.
Do you think OBJ is the reason why they're playing better?
Absolutely. Because OBJ and Matthew Stafford, they both changed their narrative right now.
Right.
But here's the thing, and this is fact, and people like to forget this. Matthew Stafford, we do not care what he is doing right now. You didn't bring Matthew Stafford to get you to the Super Bowl. Why did you bring Matthew Stafford to LA? To win the Super Bowl. You got to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
Right.
So this wasn't about getting to the Super Bowl. They could get to the Super Bowl with the roster they had. It was about, we're giving up the farm for Matthew Stafford because we want to win the Super Bowl. If you were just going to go after the Super Bowl, you didn't have to give up all the pick. You could have kept Jared Goff. Because even the year they traded him, he still got into the playoffs.
Right.
So no, if Matthew Stafford does not win the Super Bowl, it counts for nothing. Because they did not give away all the picks and the Von Miller trade. And no, they did not do all that to get to the NFC Championship game and lose. When you got to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, who was perceived as a weaker quarterback.
Right. Was Jalen Ramsey already on the Rams win the Super Bowl that one time, or he came after?
Came after.
Okay. So they've been pretty much stacking up great for this moment.
Which is why I believe, I have to go double check, I believe they don't even have a first round pick until 2025. Am I correct about that, sir? Am I correct about that?
What's that?
The Rams, they don't have a pick until like 2025 first round, right?
Yeah, they traded a bunch of them
Yeah.
away. I'm not sure. But
It's like 3 or 4 years. They don't have a pick till like 20. Yeah, I think Vaughn was their last first round pick they had up until 2025. So they gave away everything for this moment. But if you do not win the Super Bowl, it was for nothing.
Okay. 2 questions here. We're going to wrap this up here. I thank you guys for tuning in for Tobacco Talk, Smoke and Sip here with King Mace. We're live. 2 questions. Is vagina overrated?
Is vagina overrated?
Everyone gets,
It depends on in what way you're asking that question. Do you mean overrated as in feeling, or overrated as in what its ability, what it's supposed to accomplish? That matters. What way do you mean? Please chime, sir. Chime. I want it.
You know what I'm saying? I guess this
Hold on. I want to say one thing to just to add on to what you're saying.
Yes.
And if I don't know if I'm in camera, but like you said, to what it's overall supposed to be doing, I want to say, is it overrated into what social media and just media in general, to where girls are like, oh, this, and that, and da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this ain't free, and what the artists and just influencers in this day
Right.
have made it to where I'm gonna just I don't know, yeah, this so vagina. But like, yeah, you know what I mean, what they make it out to be as far as it, you know what I mean, you need to be doing this for that and that and that and that. Now that is a great question. Is it overrated? But yeah, I'm just gonna add to that in y'all guys you know what I mean,
Yes, it
conversation.
is.
Is it
Thank you.
overrated?
Thank you. So you're saying it is overrated?
Oh, in social media and all that?
No,
Yeah.
no, it's vagina.
Overall, it's overrated.
Overall, it's overrated.
I don't believe so.
As my man instinct,
I don't
hell
believe
no,
so.
it's not overrated. I love vagina. It is what it is. It's where we come from. It's where we go. It's, you know what I mean. It's home. You know what I'm saying. Now, as a person who is very sexually active, yeah, I love head and every last bit of everything in between of everything though, that goes through it, dude. But this is the thing. That social media and that whole no, you know what I mean, like in the way that girls want to talk about it and stuff like that. Overrated.
I do agree with. I definitely see.
The question now back is this overrated?
I can't call it overrated for an honest reason, because now the act of fucking, is it overrated? Yes, I'll give you that.
Yes.
The act of fucking is overrated. However, I can't call pussy overrated because, truth be told, pussy is like a luxury. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's like a luxury. You know what I'm saying? And that's why in any kind of business, whether it be sports events, whether it be cheerleaders, whether it be football, UFC events, there's always a beautiful woman there.
Always.
Because it is enticing to the male, to their ego. Overrated, yes, like you chase it and you're like, yeah, I'm trying to fuck. Overrated very much once you finally get it. However, to stay standard about it, I would have to say no, because as Jonah said, this is what we came from. How can something be overrated that has created, i.e. my 3 kids, that has created me, that my mother carried, that brought me? I can't call something like that overrated. But from the social media standpoint to the do it, fuck every dude you can, it is highly overrated, because, which is why it's true, and you all know this, in the game, you ever notice every rapper is fucking the same woman over and over and over again? It's overrated.
Which I don't understand that.
It is the truth.
Like why do in the industry the same woman is passed around when you can have, there's access to every woman, so many states, tours, but you would rather circle the same female?
That is a good question.
Clout chasing.
I could say that.
You say no.
You know,
What is your approach?
Where you from? What is Smitty? Because I'm on the mic so they can hear me.
Go ahead.
But vagina is overrated from this standpoint.
Yes, sir.
I'm not even going to compare when I say vagina is overrated, the one I came from, because that's the one I'm never going to try.
Great point.
Vagina is overrated because these bitches think that that's so valuable that we got to drop down and do whatever they desire or meet whatever needs they want monetarily in most cases for it.
Right.
So is dick overrated? Because, bitch, my dick is worth just as much as your vagina.
Very true.
So when they want to use that as something they hold over your head,
right?
That's where it's overrated.
The carrot thing.
Because for me, guess what? I can hit 27th Avenue right now, and if y'all have not been down there, it's some of the finest black women I've seen in the city. And I'm like, yo, I ain't seen you on Facebook. I ain't seen you in the club.
Right.
Where the fuck you been at? And for a very minimal amount, as compared to me taking you out on dates and crooning you and doing all this other shit, it's overrated, baby, because I can go get this motherfucker for a very inexpensive price.
Right.
So that what you think ain't worth what it is. It's what come outside of that make you valuable.
With that being said, I think the word is wrong then. I don't think the word overrated is right. You said it perfect. It's overvalued. Pussy is overvalued. I definitely, and I like when you said that, because it's true. Because they're valuing it like, you got to take me to Ruth Chris. You got to drop down and give me this. When it's what you said. I can go to 27 and it's 30. So
I can go back to a juvenile line. If I'm in the bed with a bitch and the bitch don't want to fuck like a man, I'm going to beat my meat and get my fucking nut. Like, I'm cool, shorty. I'm going to close my eyes and skeet on you about another vagina.
Boom.
Yours don't mean nothing.
Facts.
What that's why I say overrated. I like overrated because it ain't what you think it is.
Right.
It's not what you think it is. I'm not even fucking with you for that. Because if I call you back, guess what? I done ran into some vagina that was outstanding and never called her back because the pussy's overrated. I just needed a moment, but you don't have the other things that make me want to be around you.
Very true.
That's why I can agree with. That's why I could say, yeah, overrated.
Right. And then also someone brought it down to me. I was talking to the OG. He said all the men, if you take it back to the biblical days, all the men that sent for a woman got punished. She was telling Delilah, every man that sent for the woman, and I looked it up too. It's like, hold on, I had to go to the Bible and look it up. I looked at all the Bible stories where a man sent for women. There's a lot of them, and God punished him for not being their purpose. When he Adam and Eve, she ate the apple. I told you. I told you that. I know, but she answered the line. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn. And that had me thinking, it's just like, man, what is really the ROI when we're being in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? For doing all the stuff you do, there really is no ROI on that for what these women are trying to portray and put out there. So that is something that did spin my mind. But last question, though, and we're going to wrap this up here. We had a conversation. I said we had to stop and hold it and say it for the podcast. You told me we might go viral with this one. My man, my very good friend of mine, is done dating black women. You can't, right? Is that right? I'm saying that right. Are you done dating black women? Are you taking a break, or you exploring your options? Can you please break that down?
So personally, for my betterment, I have said I am done dating black women. I am not swearing off the idea that it is possible, but me personally, I would say that I am done dating black women. Yes, I am.
Can you please break that down? Like, how'd you get to this point? I mean, you know, I know your first child is with an African American woman.
So it's my second.
You know, so it's your second,
Yes.
and the third, you know, she's Hispanic, and
Yes,
then
she is.
you know, so you're African American.
It's
So
about
can
to
you
get
please break this down, sir? We got time today.
All right. So the reason I personally have come to the conclusion I'm done dating black women, it is not that I don't love black women.
Right.
It is not that I don't feel black women should be appreciated or valued. It has nothing to do with that. My daughter is black. That is my little princess. I've never devalued that. However, the reason I personally do is just because I am attracted to you physically, as you gave the pussy analogy. Just I'm attracted to you physically, just because I look at the ass, look at the teeth, and think it's great. After I'm done with you, what comes after that makes me want to keep fucking with you?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I have found that me and African American women are extremely toxic for each other. I will die further.
Please.
I've been out, controlled experiment. I've been on 2 dates with 2 white girls, 2 Mexican girls, 2 black girls, just 2 German Mexican girls, Pacific Island, all the mixed up.
Right. Plus, on top of that, he's well traveled too as well. So
Right.
it ain't just like, it's not just where we're at, Arizona. We're all well traveled. So put that out there. I don't put in the comment section. No, you never been to Atlanta. You never been to Florida. You never been down south. You never been to the Midwest.
I've been to
never
France,
been to East Coast. You never
I've
been to Cali.
been to Greece, Copa, Slovenia, Portsmouth, England, Suda Bay, Crete. I've lived in 25, 30 states. I went to the military, so I am very well traveled.
Thank you.
I've been around. Now, personally, for me, when you ask a female, what do you bring to the table?
The trigger question.
The trigger question. All black women I've asked have said the same thing. I am the table,
Mm-hmm.
or why do I have to bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Deflecting the idea that I asked you a question about what do you bring to this table? And your answer is I am the table, or you tell me what you bring. That's the problem. Secondary, with every date I've been on, I have never once, and you can ask anything I've been with, I've never been on a date one time and expected a woman to pay for anything. Never once. However, every female I've ever been on a date with, of race, and I'm being honest with you, they've asked me, oh, you good? You want to pay for my half? I got it. You good? Or the bill will come and they'll go for their purse. Just small things like that. However, the African American that I have gone on dates with, they like to do this move right here. That one right there. Or look away. Or get the drink and sip. Or you ready to go? That one. It's never bringing the equal level to it. And then after it's over, it's paid. It's fine. I'll say, son, I'll be like, oh, you had a good time tonight. I sure did. So next time we go out, you want to pay? Why would I pay? You're asking me on a date. I mean, it's fine if you don't got it. I got it. I got my own money. I don't need no man to pay for me.
Right.
But we just had a date. And you obviously did because you didn't even go for your purse. Now, I know that's going to make me sound like a douche. I know it's going to make me sound foul about it.
Hey, it's your perspective.
Absolutely true. This is my perspective. And I know what they're going to say. Black women say, it's just certain black women you deal with. I'm 37 years old.
Okay.
I have never dated outside of my race until 2 years ago. And that was with the woman that I have my daughter with. Never. So I've only dated black women since I was 13 years old. I was so pro-black, my aunt, rest her soul, she looked me in my eyes upon her death and said, please do not bring home a white woman.
Y'all heard that. If you can't use your condom, bring it home.
100%. 100,000%. So to say it's only certain black women that I've dated, it is not. Which is why you can always go back and jokingly go look at any stand-up comedian you ever do. You ever notice how all the jokes about black women are the same?
Yes.
Because it is the truth. It is the way that it is carried. And women like to say, especially African-American women, well, it's because the niggas made us this way. That is not an excuse. You've decided to make the choice to carry on this negativity about yourself to use as an excuse. Unfortunately, I can't go with that. I cannot give you that. I shouldn't have to break through every dude you ever dated before me to get to the point where I can talk to you about what we could do in the future together. That's a problem. It is the absolute honest truth. You go on a date and majority of black women have a preconceived notion that you're only trying to fuck. Are they right? Possibly. That's not the topic. But they already have this preconceived notion. What is it? They all say it. N-words ain't shit. They just trying to fuck. Oh, my baby daddy. Of course. You're referring to him in a negative sense. Your baby daddy. Not the father of your children.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And another point brought up as well as you. What black women love to talk about their exes. And most of the time it's in a negative fashion. Hope that didn't get hit by a car. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. Oh, he wasn't nothing. Get on my nerves. It's the truth. And I know what they're going to say. All races do that. It's not about all races do it. We're talking about a collective percentage. What percentage of African American women can say that? Look in yourself right now. If you are a black woman watching this right now,
okay,
validate this. Have you ever gone on a date and just say he ain't about shit but fucking? Yes, you have. Keep it real. Do you have some animosity towards a dude that you've dated in your life to a point where you've talked to your girlfriends about him and say he ain't shit, fuck him, da-da-da? Absolutely, yes, you have. Go to any comedy show that you want to, any stand-up skit that you want to, and it's always about black women being upset, black women putting you in the doghouse, black women embarrassing in front of your friends, black women having an attitude, and black women can never be wrong. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and say, that's just what it is. Now, you can choose to live on that narrative and choose to change that narrative, whatever. Now, a lot of people come to me and go, oh, so that means you giving up on black women. You go only on date white women. I didn't say I was dating any specific race of woman. But what I'm saying is if we line this totem pole up between top to bottom from race to race, Mexican, white, Asian, black, and whatever you want to do it, pull out the structure, pull out the strength, weigh the pros and cons, and ask yourself, are you angry? Are you upset? How many dudes can you say ain't How many dudes in your life that you give it up to that you said I never should have gave them to? That is the thing that black women carry. And personally, I love you guys. I will always love you guys. I will never turn my back. Bro, black, you ain't gonna love it, but it's true. However, if you're going to decide not to change, you're going to carry this stigma, then there's nothing I can do for you. Because I'm not about to continue to go on dates with you just for you to sit there and have to go on 3 dates before I get to the point where we can talk about more than just why men ain't shit. And that's my assessment of the situation.
All right. You know what? That was heavy. That was heavy. And so, hey, thank everyone for tuning in for Tobacco Talk. We're smoking Sip, King Mace. Tune in next month. We're gonna try. I'm trying to get that word out of my system. We are going to be consistent. I'm bringing this once a month. Great conversation. This one I'm smoking on the Tobacco Special by Jew Estates. Been a great cigar. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful night, y'all.
Blessings.
Blessings.